The Free Thinker Show. Ignite your mind, challenge the norm.
Ever get that feeling like we're just skimming the surface of a big story?
I know exactly what you mean.
Like with these opioid crisis headlines.
Yeah.
What's the real story there?
Right, exactly.
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Let's do it.
A recent Justice Department announcement. It reads like a crime thriller, honestly.
Oh, really?
Millions of pills, shady pharmacies, data crunching, the whole shebang. We're talking about a case with 10 individuals linked to pharmaceutical distributors.
Okay.
Their alleged crime.
Yeah.
Funneling a massive amount of prescription drugs. We're talking nearly 70 million opioid pills.
Wow.
And 30 million doses of other addictive medications.
Oh.
And get this, they were allegedly targeting these till mill pharmacies, mainly in Houston, Texas.
I see. So they were really going after a specific area.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Those places, you know the ones, just churning out prescriptions.
Yeah, like it's nothing.
Exactly.
Wow. What's really striking here, I think, is the scale of it all.
Mm.
And the approach, it seems really calculated. This wasn't just a couple people, going off the rails.
Right.
This looks like a coordinated effort, executives, sales reps, all working together.
Wow.
And they targeted this specific area, known for diverting drugs, to the black market. It suggests a deliberate strategy, taking advantage of a system that's clearly vulnerable.
And that's where this gets even wilder, the street value of these drugs.
Okay.
An estimated $1.3 billion.
That's
billion. Unbelievable.
with a B. And that really highlights the other side of this, the demand. This isn't just a supply issue.
Absolutely. That figure just underscores the economic engine driving this crisis.
Yeah.
The demand for these drugs on the black market, it creates this massive incentive for these illegal networks.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond individual addiction. We're talking about a whole system of criminal enterprise.
So justice, right.
Yeah.
Where does that come in? Well, 6 of those 10 individuals, they've already pleaded guilty.
And it doesn't end there. 3 pharmacy operators who were allegedly buying those drugs to then sell on the streets.
Yeah.
Busted, pleaded guilty too.
It sounds like the Justice Department is really trying to send a message here.
Right.
That there are serious consequences for profiting off this kind of suffering. But it does make you wonder, is it enough? Will these arrests actually put a dent in the flow of opioids? Or are we just, putting a Band-Aid on a much bigger problem?
Now, here's where the investigation gets really interesting. They didn't uncover this through, the usual channels.
Mm-hmm.
They used this specialized unit, the Texas Strike Force.
Okay.
Data analysis is their game.
Interesting.
They tracked those prescriptions, pinpointed those distributors flooding Houston.
So they're fighting fire with fire, using data to combat what's essentially data-driven crime. That's fascinating. The Texas Strike Force, it's not just a cool name, it's a sign of the times. This new era of investigation, right? They're finding those red flags, like huge amounts of pills going to one place and tracing it all back.
It really makes you think, what else is hiding in plain sight? Just waiting for the right analysis. This case, it's got it all: greed, a public health emergency, the power of data. It just shows you how complex this epidemic really is.
Absolutely. And it's a stark reminder that this crisis is far from over. These arrests, they are a step forward, but just one piece of a much larger puzzle. It's a call to action for all of us.
Yeah.
To be vigilant, to demand accountability from the companies, the healthcare providers, even ourselves. How can we prevent this from happening again? That's the conversation we need to have, beyond the headlines.
Right.
What's our responsibility? How do we prevent this? These are tough questions, but they're the ones we need to be asking.